All right, well, welcome everyone. Thanks for Cathy's cook-along class, as Amy calls it. Today we are going to make one of my favorite dishes is butter chicken. So it's just like a chicken curry recipe. We probably make curry more than my family likes sometimes, but it's like once a week at least. So I make a chicken curry of some sort. It's just a really good, I find it, for me, it's a really good comfort food, especially we make a lot in the winter, but in the summer, it's something easy. I can even make ahead of time and then just maybe put it in the slow cooker to keep warm. So if you're like crazy busy with family stuff, you can do that. So this is just a really basic butter chicken recipe that we're gonna start with. So the thing you wanna start with first is your chicken breasts. So I've got just some regular chicken breasts here. And I use chicken breasts because of course they're like a lot lower in fat. Some recipes will call for like chicken thighs. They're a little higher in fat. So I've just got some chicken breasts here, which we're gonna cut up. I like to use this, a plastic cutting board for this. And the reason I use a separate one is so that I can disinfect it after. I just put it straight in the dishwasher and it disinfects everything, as opposed to a wooden one. So we just wanna take your chicken breast and we're gonna chop it into small pieces, like kind of cubes, like bite size. So you wanna just chop them up into small little pieces. It was about 12 ounces of chicken. So I'm doing a little bit more than that because I have a family of 4. So I am just doing a little bit more. So, and we were fortunate this week that I think the hoarding has stopped and I was able to get chicken at the store. So I'm just gonna cut up I've got 3 chicken breasts here that I'm gonna cut up into cubes. Okay. So we're gonna cut. The other thing too, if you're a vegetarian, instead of doing chicken, you could definitely do like chickpeas, something like that. You could do tofu as well if you wanted a vegetarian option for it. So just gonna get all the chicken cut up. The other thing I like about this recipe, it's actually pretty quick. We only need about start to finish like 30 minutes to make it. So it is a pretty quick meal for when you get home from work or kids are home from school. You can make it pretty quickly. That's full cooking time. That's like prep and cooking time. So got my chicken all cut up here. I think you're ready on that. Giselle, is your chicken all cooked, all cut up?
Yes.
Okay, just didn't want to go too fast. So next we're gonna add some olive oil to a large skillet, a large pan. Oops, my dogs are tripping me. So I love the Le Creuset cookware or any cast iron cookware. Super healthy cooking, holds its heat really well. So I'm just gonna heat up my pan and it calls for about 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil. You could also use coconut oil if that's easier, avocado oil, any of the healthier oils. So it's about 2 tablespoons because I'm cooking a little bit extra chicken. I'm going to do a little bit more. So I'm gonna do 2 tablespoons. Maybe for me, I'm gonna do 3 tablespoons of olive oil on that. So we're gonna let that heat up. As that's heating up a little bit, I've just got it on medium heat to heat up. I am going to now chop up my onion. So it did call for 2 yellow onions diced. I had 1 large onion already in the fridge, so I'm gonna use that. So you wanna make sure you may have already done this, but you wanna dice your onion into small pieces. So just checking that. So onions, you just want to take all the skin out of the outer skin part off and just dice it. So, I mean, if you have a food processor, you could definitely use that as well instead of doing it by hand. But I find it's just as quick to do it by hand. So Just chop up your onion. And if you're super pressed for time, you want this really quick, you can actually buy onion already chopped up, which I learned the other day. I've never done that, but I did learn the other day. Maybe it was Amy's salsa recipe, I can't remember, but you can buy onion already chopped up. So it looks like a lot of onion, but onion does shrink down quite a bit. And it just adds so much flavor to food. Absolutely tons of good flavor. Onion's super healthy for your liver. So we're gonna put, that's good. So we're gonna put the onion, we're gonna saute the onion, garlic, and ginger. So we'll start with the onion, because I've got a lot of it. Put that in first in the pan. You wanna put all your onion in there, and your olive oil, start that cooking. Next, we're gonna do the garlic. I have 2 garlic cloves here somewhere. Here we go. Got some garlic cloves. If you are using, we're gonna mince these down with my garlic press. If you are using, if you're using jarred garlic, again, this is one of those things that you can use really how much you want. If you're using the already pressed garlic, you could do maybe 2 tablespoons of garlic. Just gonna press this directly into the pan. There we go. And again, you can use really as much garlic as you like. We're just gonna put 2 in there. I'm just gonna do the rest. We got some garlic in there. And then we're also gonna use some ginger. I'm gonna use some fresh ginger. You can buy it, to save time, you can buy it already pressed, but we're gonna use just fresh ginger, which we love to do. So I just kind of peel it. I take a peeler, vegetable peeler, and just peel some of that rough skin off the ginger. Ginger is going to give it like just a lot of, it's going to be very fragrant in it. It's a very distinct taste. So it kind of leaves me with like kind of a knob of ginger like this. And this recipe calls for it to be grated. So I just have a grater. If you don't have a grater, you can just chop it up. You could just definitely chop it up into small pieces. So this is just a very, very fine grater. And that. Giselle, I think you said you you couldn't find your grater?
Yeah.
So you could just chop your ginger, or if you have like or I didn't know what kind you bought, or if you had a ginger paste already. So you could just chop it into tiny little pieces.
I ended up using my garlic press for my ginger.
Oh, perfect. Yeah. So you can just do that. And I've got about, the recipe calls for about 2 tablespoons of ginger. So this is roughly 2 tablespoons of ginger. And if you're one of those that likes to measure precisely, you can definitely measure it precisely as well. As I kind of mentioned last week, I'm one of those cooks that I don't always measure things. I kind of do it according to taste and what I like. And I love ginger. I love garlic. So I just kind of wing it on that. So during this time too, you just want to make sure that you are just get the onions going so you don't want them to stick to the bottom of the pan. So definitely just keep stirring them around. They'll become kind of translucent. Got some great flavor, great smells going on there on that. So while those are cooking, we're going to saute them for a little bit. We're now going to stir in the tomato paste. Next, we're going to do tomato paste, paprika, curry, like all the spices. So tomato paste called for this particular recipe, which I'm following, calls for a 1/4 cup of tomato paste. And I just get a little jar here of tomato paste. So this just calls for a 1/4 cup. So I've already got my 1/4 cup measurement here of tomato paste. I'm going to measure that out. Okay, so we're going to stir in. We're going to stir in the tomato paste into the pan, into those onions that are cooking. So I've got that. I'm just going to stir those in. Put that in together. gonna keep that going. I just have the heat on sort of medium low right now. Next, we're gonna Now we're gonna do all the spices. The paprika. Paprika. It's 2 teaspoons of paprika. So we've got our teaspoon here. So 2 teaspoons of paprika straight in the pan. 1, 2. 2 teaspoons of paprika. I've got next is curry powder, 1 tablespoon of curry powder. And again, with the spices, it depends. It's a basic recipe. This is not too spicy. If you like really spicy food, then you can definitely add more of this. So this is 1 teaspoon of curry powder, which is going to bring this really brilliant yellow color to it. So we've got 1 teaspoon of curry powder. Next is that Garam Masala that I had sent in the group chat yesterday. Garam Masala is actually a combination of like 10 different spices, and it's got an amazing fragrance to it. So we're going to do, we got 2 teaspoons of Garam Masala. So again, we love spice in this house, so I do like 2 heaping ones. Can't have too much spice for us. So 2 teaspoons of the Garam Masala, and then sea salt. What I have is the Himalayan pink salt, so I'm going to use that. Salt is actually not terrible for you. People have this idea that salt is awful, but if you're using any kind of natural salt, sea salt or Himalayan salt, there's actually a lot of minerals in it. So salt, having a good quality salt is super important. So we're going to do 1 teaspoon of salt. So we're going to throw 1 teaspoon of salt in there. I'm just going to kind of continue to stir this so that the onions don't stick to the bottom as we go. So we're going to keep that. I think we've just got 1 more spice to go here. So we've got the salt. We've got the salt added. And again, salt's just a preference on how much flavor or how much salt you want. Next, we're going to do the chili powder. So I've got some chili powder here. And it calls for 1 tablespoon of chili powder. So, did we use the rest? Did we use tablespoons? Yeah. So we're going to do 1 tablespoon of powder. And yeah, so we're just going to stir that together. So that's all our spices that are added. So we're just going to stir all that together, kind of make it nice and fragrant. It does smell amazing at this point, but you want to stir it so it doesn't stick to the bottom of your pan. Maybe turn it on low for a second. So we've got that cooking. Next, we want to add our chicken in there. So we're going to add the cooked chicken. It's going to take about 5 to 7 minutes. So I'm taking all of my chicken. I'm going to add it to the pan here. And you just want to make sure you stir this all together. I'm going to turn up the heat to medium. I had it on low for a minute there so it wouldn't burn. So I'm going to just stir everything in together. You want to make sure like all the, kind of chicken's all mixed in well with the onion mixture. So I'm just going to let the chicken cook away. It should probably take about 5 to 7 minutes to do that. So while that's cooking, what we want to do next is we're going to make the the cauliflower rice. We're not on the coconut yet. We're going to do the cauliflower rice. Cauliflower rice is just a really good option for those people who are trying to do lower carbs. Cauliflower, I mean, there is some carbs in it, but it's just a lot lower carbs. Or people who are doing like a grain-free diet, cauliflower rice is easy. I'm going to show you how to make it. This is the simplest way to do it. Either if you have like a food processor or a blender handy, this is the easiest way to make it. The other way, if you're in a real rush, like when you get home from work, is you can actually buy cauliflower rice as is. You can buy it frozen. So you don't necessarily have to make it yourself. But today, for this purpose, I'm just going to show you how easy it is. Now, I did go to the store to get cauliflower. It called for one. My recipe for you guys called for 1 head of cauliflower, but yesterday, for some reason, I went to 2 stores and they didn't have cauliflower. I don't know why. I'm really not sure why they didn't have cauliflower yesterday. So, but what I did find are these cauliflower florets. So we're going to use this instead. So let me just kind of clear my counter here. So I'm just, this is probably equivalent, this bag is probably equivalent to a whole head. So I just kind of chopped it into smaller, this is already chopped into smaller pieces, but if you're doing your cauliflower fresh, like if you've got the full one, you'll want to chop it into small little florets first, just to fit it into your food processor, or it's easier to break down in your blender, in your high-speed blender. So I just put, I use this mini food processor, which I've had, I swear, forever, and it's just so handy for things. So I just put the cauliflower in and just kind of shake it around to get it. Just gonna make sure it's all, sometimes it gets a little bit sticky to the edges. So I'm just going to, I think we've got a couple small pieces in there that are still sticking. All right. So when you get your cauliflower, then I'm just going to put, so I'm going to do, I'm going to have to do this in a couple small batches just because I don't have a huge food processor. I'm just going to pour it into, I'm just going to pour this into a bowl. And then do a couple batches of it. And then some more cauliflower. It might need, some of these pieces are pretty big, so I might need to just chop them up or just break them up with your fingers, just so they fit in there. But again, if you are in a rush and this is something you want to make when you get home from work, you can definitely just buy the cauliflower rice already done, the frozen stuff, which I do a lot. There we go. Got one piece in there that just does not want to break up on that. So this is this is the easiest way and the cheapest way to make cauliflower rice. Again, this is just an awesome alternative to regular rice. On that, I've got a little bit more to go, but what I'm going to do is just chop up. Some of these pieces are pretty big that I have left, so I'm going to chop them up. But in the middle of that, don't forget your chicken that's cooking. You don't want that to burn. So, you know, stir around your chicken so that it gets evenly cooked. This is smelling fantastic. So we got that. So the chicken's still cooking over here. You can also, if it's easier for you too, like chicken will cook a little bit quicker if you cover it. It'll just keep the heat in. If you have some sort of pan that you can cover it with, just don't forget about it over there. So again, I'm just finishing with my cauliflower rice here. Okay. How are you doing, Gisela?
Doing good.
Were you able to make the cauliflower rice?
Yes.
Okay. Some of these big pieces are still kind of sticking to the sides. So sometimes you just need to kind of get in there and get them off the side. All right, so we're good on that. So again, I've got this whole bowl now. This is kind of equivalent to about a head of cauliflower. Got one piece that's being a bit stubborn on that. Let's see, 2 pieces being stubborn. So we'll just get those done. All right. There we go. All right, we're finally done on that cauliflower rice. All right, so we've got that. So that cauliflower rice is instead of regular rice for us today. So, and if you even, you know, you can, if you don't want it at all, then you don't have to, you don't have to do it either. So that's just going to be what we're going to serve our butter chicken on. So back to the chicken, I'm going to check it. Cooking awesome. Cooking really nicely now. All those flavors, the chicken should almost be cooked at this point. Of course, the smaller, it's not quite, I can feel it. It's kind of rubbery still. It's not, you know, it's cooked when, without having to cut through it. But if your spoon that you're using, or whatever kitchen device, your cooking device you're using, you should be able to chop through the chicken like really easily. This one, yeah, probably another minute or two. This is still kind of pink inside, and we want to make sure the chicken's definitely cooked. So just keep stirring that. I'm going to leave it probably for another 2 minutes, and then we're going to go back to the recipe and see what's next. So, so the next part of the recipe is we're going to stir in the coconut milk. That's the one thing that we have left, I believe. Coconut milk and some lime. But the other thing that I want to do today is just a really easy way of getting more vegetables in. Is so if you have something extra vegetables you want to put in, now would be the time to do it. Just when that chicken's almost finished cooking, so put in the vegetables. So today, what I'm going to put in, because I just was able to get this yesterday, about a whole thing. I love spinach. Spinach is one of those awesome veggies that you can put a ton in, and it kind of shrinks down to nothing. So you're getting a ton of you're eating a ton of vegetables, but you don't really know that you're eating a ton of vegetables. And it's a good one to hide on your children. as my son is filming this, he eats whatever, but it's a good way to hide a lot of vegetables in. So at this point where your chicken is almost cooked but not quite all the way in, I would add, I said I didn't put that in the recipe, but if you have some spinach or some kale or something like that in the fridge and you want to go grab it, now would be the time to put it in. So that was just, so right now I'm just going to put a couple big handfuls of spinach. This baby spinach I love. We've got like probably, I'd say you probably got 4 cups of spinach there. I'm gonna, I'm just gonna put that in for another second. I'm gonna put I'm gonna put the lid on for a minute. Gonna steam it a little bit. And then let's go to the coconut milk. So this is what you want. You want the can of coconut milk. With coconut milk, the water and the fat separate really easily. Usually the fat's stuck at top. So just give it a good shake before you open it. So just gonna open that. And coconut milk is one of those things I think just adds a lot of flavor to it. It's just such a good alternative to regular dairy as well. So we use coconut milk. I use it in most things in our house, especially in things like curry. So at this point, we're going to add 1 cup of coconut milk. I may have to add a little bit extra just because I did the extra chicken. So we're gonna see what that looks like. So here we're going back, the spinach has been in there, what, 2 minutes? It's already going down. So I'm kind of stirring that in. Look at this brilliant color. That's from all the different spices in there, that beautiful color. And then the greens. We could probably even add more spinach, although my son's shaking his head on that one, but you could easily order more. But any kind of vegetable you could definitely add in here, peppers, whatever. So now we're gonna add a full cup of, the recipe calls for a cup of coconut milk, and you want the full fat. You don't want the half fat because it's just way too watery. So this is full fat. So this would be a cup. We're just gonna pour the coconut milk in there. I'm probably gonna add just a little bit more because I did the extra chicken. So you wanna add your coconut milk. We're gonna stir all that together. Gosh, this is making me hungry. So we're just gonna stir that. Get a good stir in there. I've got it on like a really low to medium heat, mostly closer to low. I am using gas, so gas does get a lot hotter than electric. So it stays hot for a lot longer actually. So I've got it on low right now, just because I've got a gas stove. So this is what you want your curry just kind of simmering like that. And And that's everything. That's everything. That's everything for the butter chicken, the curry that we're making. Just, it's got a lot of very basic ingredients. Just got a lot of spice, and then coconut milk makes it, like, gives it that nice thick rich sauce. So when you serve it, so we're gonna let that simmer for a couple minutes on there, just make sure everything's cooked, everything's kind of coming together. So to serve it, this particular recipe, we're going to squeeze some lime onto, just to add some flavor to the rice. You could also, if you're buying the cauliflower rice that's already frozen, easy way, you can just defrost it. You could also just put it in a pan, like put a little olive oil in a pan, saute it there, and then use it. So there's lots of options for you. For this particular recipe, it's just calling for some lime. So that's what the lime was for. So I'm just gonna squeeze the juice of half a lime over the rice, the cauliflower rice. Just kind of mix that all together. Now, the rice should be kind of at room temperature. They said if you want it heated up, you could just throw it in the pan with a little bit of olive oil. I'm just going to use it as is, because once you put the curry, the butter chicken on top of it, it's going to be hot anyway. So you don't necessarily have to do a separate pan to heat that up first. So what we're going to do now is we're going to plate it. I'm going to show you how easy this is. Got my plate. So I am going to just put my rice, my cauliflower rice, however much you would like on it. Remember, this is a vegetable, so it's okay to eat a lot, where you're like, if you're eating actual cup of rice, one serving is about 3/4 of a cup. At Infinity, we use, 3/4 a cup is about a serving. So this you could probably eat, you know, if you're the type that likes more carbs like that, you know, it's really unlimited, because this is cauliflower. It is a vegetable on that. So we're going to put the cauliflower rice down, and then I'm going to get a nice big ladle here, and we're just going to spoon that over top, just like that. Turn it off, and there you go. That is butter chicken. That's a traditional kind of Indian dish. With just a whole lot of flavor. It's super healthy. We used very minimal oil fats in it. The fats are coming from olive oil and coconut oil. Coconut milk. So just a really super healthy, easy recipe. And that took us literally from start to finish 30 minutes. So really easy recipe for when you get home. The things you could do to make things go quicker. You could always chop up the chicken breast in advance. You can always have the onions chopped up. You can have all your spices mixed together, maybe in like a little baggie, if you know that's what you're going to make. You can also make this in advance and then put it in a slow cooker just to keep warm if you're kind of busy over the dinner hour, but you can just definitely do that. So any questions? Gisela, how did it turn out?
It's good. It's so good. I don't know if the laptop will show my plate, but it's yummy.
All right, I'm going to turn this around. So hold on a second so that I can see. Hold on, because right now I don't see you. So I don't know if I can see your plate.
Can you see it now?
No.
Hold on. I got to take it off. Hold on.
Oh, it might not be on.
There you go. Can you see her now?
Can you see me now?
Oh, that looks fantastic. Yeah, look at that. That's amazing. So my son wants to see too. He's like, she wants to see. That's my son. He's like, looks awesome. So you can see it's like a really super easy meal, family dinner night kind of meal, really kind of what I would say is comfort food for me. And the other thing too, the good thing about this is if you make a big batch of it, is that it freezes really well. So when I make it and we have some left, I'll just put it into little individual glass containers and I'll freeze it. So it's just a really great, easy dinner recipe.
For freezing the leftovers, how long would you say that it lasts? Like, keep it frozen?
Oh, I've honestly found stuff in my freezer that I've had in there 5 months.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you can definitely, if it's in a deep freeze, or like, and especially if you're freezing it in glass, I wouldn't really worry. Like, you can freeze things for a very long time. I've never had it as long as you're putting it in a container that's not getting like frostbite, you know, because you know sometimes things can get a little frostbite. But definitely, I've literally found stuff. I usually write on the top what it is and the date that I put it in, and then every now and then I have a deep freeze and I clean out. I clean it out and then I find stuff that's been there for a while, but it's always a nice surprise. So these are the kind of dishes I'm going to show you. Like I use like a glass dish, but I have ones that are individual size. Here's one here. So kind of like an individual one. So sometimes I'll just make a bunch of those with what's left over, and then it's just an easy dinner for someone to pull out and heat up one night. So that makes it easy. Great. Well, thank you for joining me, Gisela. I'm glad you're able to have, now you've got a really nice lunch, maybe some dinner as well for that. And if anyone else who listens to this afterwards has any questions or wants any substitutions, just send me a message through Flock. Awesome. So thank you. Thanks, Amy, for having me today.
Thank you, Cathy, for doing this.
Okay.
If it was as good as the egg roll one, I'm super excited.
It's pretty good. If you like spice, I like flavor. We love a lot of flavor in our house. We don't like boring foods at all. So so this is like the type of thing that we love. We just live on this stuff.
Perfect.
So, all right. We'll talk to you later.
Thank you.
All right. Bye.
Bye.